Hello and welcome to Race 4 of the Late Apex Racing Club Season 3 at Lime Rock Park. Today's event is the halfway point of our season, and this will be the second of 4 endurance races. The race length will be 50 minutes with 1 pit stop required. The forecast for today's event has a high chance of rain. Forecast models predicted a 67% chance of precipitation about halfway through the race. We'll have to keep an eye on the weather as the session progresses, as that could play a factor in when drivers decide to take their pit stop. The air temperature is a brisk 22 degrees Celsius, but track temps will climb throughout the weekend and should be about 40 degrees Celsius to start the race. We do have a few keys to the race, as we have the second of our endurance races here. Number 1, just be prepared to monitor the changing conditions and potential for rain. We don't know if it's going to happen for sure, but you better listen to your crew chief and plan accordingly. If you need to take a second pit stop to correct an ill-advised strategy blunder, it will cost you dearly. Keys to the race number 2, survive the uphill corner. These cars will get 2 or even 4 tires off the ground as they crest over the hill, meaning you must have your wheel and your car pointed straight in order to avoid a heavy crash. And 3, take caution around the pit sequence. Drivers will have to set up the downhill corner differently in order to get all the way over to the pit entry. Having awareness of the cars around you and communicating your intentions using your car positioning will help avoid any unnecessary incidents. We do have a few driver and car updates to inform you about. We have Micah Hendricks making his Season 3 debut. Raced with us in Seasons 1 and 2 previously, and he'll be driving the pink BWT McLaren as a privateer entry. The last time Late Apex visited Lime Rock Park, Micah took home the victory in the feature race, driving the Aston Martin at the time, so he'll be looking to repeat that success today. We also have Francois Schenk making his Late Apex debut in the Motor Bunny Racing Mustang GT4. No stranger to success, Francois has won 2 Drivers' Championships in the AlphaTauri Challenge, secured first place in the TCR category in the Sports Car Endurance League last season, and is currently a front runner in the GT4 Pro category this season. He'll be looking to ride to victory lane today. Let's skip ahead to the grid of our 50-minute race and show you how they're starting. Matthew Mayer puts it on pole with a 52.3 in the Bing Chilling Porsche GT4. That Porsche still doing well for him in his second race with that car. His teammate Fouad Al-Rija will start next to him in the Bing Chilling Mustang, just 3 tenths behind. Raymond 2 will start third in the B4D Weenie Hut Racing Mustang GT4. Mike D'Almeida will start next to him in the Ball Crushing Industries Aston Martin. Francois Schenk will start 5th in his debut, and Mark Darnell will start next to him in the Horner Toad Racing BMW. Lieutenant Dan will start 7th in the Beaver Busters McLaren, with Jason Lynn in the Big Honkers Mercedes next to him. Micah Hendricks will start 9th in this race, about a second off the pace, but he'll be looking to move up quickly. And Chris McDonald will start 10th in the Grimmed Cock Racing Mustang. McDonald's teammate David Mitchell unable to make the grid today, so he'll be looking to get as many points as he can for the team. And Ethan Brown will start his first race in the Mustang GT4 for Beaver Busters. As the pace truck makes its way off, it's actually a very, very short pace lap here, so we'll get you to starter cam as they make their way downhill. Barney's got the green flag in hand. 2 by 2 they line up. Pace truck's in the pit lane. And green flag. Away they go, 2 by 2 into turn 1. Mayer on the inside, Fuad on the outside, and we have, my apologies, a little bit of filtering in going, and Mike D'Almeida is looking to filter in to 4th. All clean for the first half of the lap. It's good. Got to get those tires up to temperature. You don't want to have any kind of drama on the lap 1. As they make their way through uphill. Alrijla getting very loose on those cold tires through that uphill section as he crested that hill. Through West Bend and into downhill. Very easy to run wide in this corner, especially when you don't have the grip available. And Alrijla goes defensive. Raymond 2 is going to be looking to make a position here. And Francois Schenk is going side by side with Mike D'Almeida for 4th place. Alrijla stays ahead of the Weenie Hut Racing car, but Francois Schenk does make it around D'Almeida. And we have a car off in the background. That is Lieutenant Dan in the McLaren. Just a little bit wide. No harm, no foul. He'll continue. We have Ethan Brown making up positions. He's up 3 positions so far, trying to chase down Micah Hendricks. We'll stay up here with Fuad Alrijla. He's got a train of Mustangs, and that was a very squirrely moment for Raymond 2, but he looks to gather it in. And we got a little bit of a cork in the bottle situation here. Alrijla trying to get those tires up to temperature, but we have some very racy Mustangs behind him. Raymond 2 goes to the inside, down the San Posey straight. He's got the position into the braking zone, I think. Nothing Alrijla can really do from the outside there. And Francois Schenk is going to look to capitalize on that. But Alrijla has the advantage to the left-hander. But they go side by side in the right-hander, and there's room left. The Motor Bunny Racing Mustang is trying to make it through. He'll have the inside for uphill, but it's not a great place. There's contact. Alrijla goes wide. Mike D'Almeida, Mark Darnell looking for positions on Alrijla. Micah Hendricks trying to get involved too, side by side. Darnell backs out. He'll just tuck in for downhill, try to set up a good opportunity at the end of the straight. But not the lap that Alrijla was looking for. He's down 3 positions. I think he's maybe struggling with those cold tires. But once he gets them up to temp, we'll see what his pace can do. We are lap 4 into our 50-minute race, 3 minutes in. These drivers will be doing a lot of laps today. It's a very short track, especially for these types of machinery. So they're going to get a lot of practice at each corner as Micah Hendricks makes his way around Mark Darnell. So he's up 3 positions, and he'll go chase down some of the other leaders. The track will start off pretty warm, 40 degrees Celsius. As these clouds roll in, it will cool off. So you'll see lap times drop. So we have a move for position. 3 wide into turn 1. Lieutenant Dan makes it stick on the inside. Chris McDonald trying to hang on the outside. Jason Lynn the beat in the middle of the sandwich there, but he tucks in, letting both of them through, and saying, I'll live here to fight again another day. But good job on all three of them to make it clean. That was an aggressive move, but got the job done. We'll head back up front. We have a 3.7 second gap for Matthew Mayer. He is cruising in that Porsche, very comfortable in the car. It's strong at this track. It's got a lot of grip. It's lightweight compared to the Mustang and some of the other front engine cars. Just a very neutral car, which is great for a technical track like Lima Rock Park. The Mustang's not going to have that top speed, power down the straight advantage as it does at some other tracks. You're constantly turning in this track, you're constantly setting up for corners. Wow, that is a lot of air for Mayer as he makes his way uphill into the West Bend. And he's maximizing his, his advantage here, up to 4 seconds now. So we'll check in. We have Raymond 2 in second, going wide of the Mustang. Francois Schink chasing him behind. He's already up 2 positions into that podium spot for his debut race. And once again, Mayer and 2 battling for the top spot. A common theme through the first 3 races of the season, and no change here today so far. Francois Schink does look racy though. He was a couple of tenths quicker in the last lap around than Raymond 2. 2 putting up a 53.1 and Francois Schink doing a 52.9. Matthew Mayer 2 tenths quicker than that with a 52.7. And we have somebody in the pits. Chris McDonald has crashed. Unfortunately, just never felt really comfortable in the car. Not sure exactly what happened, but he has towed to pit lane and will retire the car. Lieutenant Dan going wide again out of Big Bend. Track conditions are a bit tricky. It doesn't seem like a technical track, but because there's a lot of elevation changes, a lot of camber changes in the road texture, you have to use some of those curbs. You have to really position your car well. Makes it a very technical track. So it can be tricky in these conditions. And he goes wide again. He'll need to gather it in if he wants to make up some positions. We have Mike DeAlmeida defending from Fuad Al-Rijla. Al-Rijla looking to make back one of those places. He takes the inside of the corner on the second half of Big Bend, but he's going to have the outside for the left-hander. And Micah Hendricks is going to look to see if he can squeeze on through as these two battle it out. DeAlmeida gets a good run, down no name. There's not really an opportunity to pass here, other than like maybe lap 1 when cars are still 2x2. It just sets you up so poorly for this section of the track. But DeAlmeida keeps the position. Al-Rijla is going to look to try again, and a little bit wide for the McLaren behind. Oh, that's very wide for DeAlmeida. Al-Rijla goes all the way to the other side of the track just to avoid an incident, but he's going to have a good run into turn 1. Side by side they go. Al-Rijla on the inside, DeAlmeida on the outside. Ball Crushing Industries Aston Martin tries to stick it, cannot, tucks in, and does not let Micah Hendricks through. He goes wide for the entry of the left-hander, takes the normal racing line for the right-hander, and job well done for Fuad Al-Rijla, up to 4th place. And now Micah Hendricks says, I think it's time for me to get through as well. I got some Mustangs I want to chase down. Hendricks did not have a lot of practice coming into today, so every lap that he does, he's just, you know, figuring it out a little bit at a time. So he'll look to improve his lap times as the day continues, and that is very deep into turn one. Maybe some damage there, definitely some contact, and Micah Hendricks goes side by side. Again, the outside of left-hander is not really where you want to be, but it can set you up nicely for right-hander. Not really room to pass there, though. Arijala looks to be okay. No damage from that impact in turn one. We have Lieutenant Dan just 2/10 behind his teammate, Ethan Brown. Brown with a good start in today's race. He's up 3 positions. He's gonna have to battle his teammate to hold on to it, and takes a lot of curb. That Mustang in the air, and where to go? There he is. Unfortunate, but that happens. You take that curb a little bit aggressively, it can throw the car up into the air. You're gonna have to be careful of that. But he keeps it together and holds on for P9. Diamita still holding off Micah Hendricks. The pink McLaren looking to make his way past, but not quite yet. The McLaren should have excellent traction out of the exits of the corners compared to the front engine cars. There's all that weight from the engines on the rear wheels. The McLaren's disadvantage is top speed, but here at this track, it's not really a disadvantage because the straight's so short. So the McLaren should be strong and capable today. We'll stay with this battle as it's the closest on track. Now we are on lap 13, 11 minutes into our race, and the radar suggests that no rain is coming. The drivers were expecting it. 2/3 of a chance to have some precipitation here. But right now, the sun's out, and the chance is getting smaller and smaller. It's down to 4% for the event. And it looks like there might be some rain later, but that'll be post-race. So the drivers will have to adapt their strategy. If people were banking on rain coming halfway through and switching to the wet tires, that might factor in maybe stop sooner for an undercut, maybe just drive as far as you can. They'll have to think on the fly and adjust their strategy accordingly. It's a bit of a shame. I think the drivers were looking forward to a little bit of wet action, but we'll continue. Mike D'Almeida still playing defense as Hendricks looks to follow him. Maybe make a move, maybe not. He will save some fuel, staying behind D'Almeida. Fuel saving is a legitimate strategy. You do not have to take tires. You can if you want to, but if you're able to save some fuel, go a couple extra laps, you don't have to put as much fuel in the car during your pit stop, then you can make up some positions, some track time in the pits during that sequence. We'll take a look at how that plays out once drivers start making their pit stops. We have a very large pit window. Cars have 50% fuel, so they can go quite a long way in this race. They won't be able to make it to the end, but they will be able to make it. Basically, the pit window is open now. It might be early. You might not want to pit now, but you should be able to make it to the end if you do. Up front, we have Matthew Mayer with a 6.8 second lead. Just absolutely cruising. We'll ride along with him as he makes his way around Big Bend. Hits that second apex, gets on the curb, powers out, sets up nicely for the left-hander. No drama here, just very neutral car. Not aggressively on the throttle until he exits the right-hander. Down no name. Setting up nicely for uphill. Takes the curbs on both sides, points the car straight, flies over that hill. at least 2 wheels off the ground. West bend. Avoiding that inside curve does unsettle the car quite a bit. And then in downhill, just a quick lift. Back on throttle. And that is 1 lap at Lime Rock Park. Mayer looking to extend his championship lead. We did not talk about the points before the race, but and we have a pass for position. My apologies. D'Almeida, it looks like he went off track, and Hendricks gets through. So Hendricks up to 5th place. As this is the 4th week, we will be implementing the 2 drop weeks in the Drivers' Championship. So points before the race, kind of weird because they're going to be more than the points after the race. But Raymond 2 and Matthew Mayer are locked in a tight battle for the lead. Connor Acatella was in 3rd, and he is unable to make today's race. So I'm sure some other team drivers will be looking to make up some points. And we have Lieutenant Dan all over the back of Mark Darnell. Darnell has some bumper damage as well. Not sure where that came from. But that is about as close as you can get. The BMW this is the part of the track where the BMW is strong, but Lieutenant Dan's brave on the brakes, gets the inside, just not quite enough room. Darnell covers on the second part of the apex there, and will lead them through the left-hander, right-hander section. Darnell sets up for uphill. You'll want to make sure that he gets that car pointed straight. Might be worth sacrificing. I'm sorry, we have a first pit of our day. We have Matthew Mayer in earlier than everyone else. It looks like he was off track as well. Not sure if that was a mistake or a hardware issue, but he is going to repair some damage. Also take tires during his stop. So he's in. He's the first of our anybody to make his stop. And he should be able to make it to the end. Might have to fuel save a little bit, but shouldn't be too big of a deal for him. But I wonder if he picked up some damage when he went off track and maybe had to take that fast repair. Luckily for him, rain doesn't look like it's coming. If it was, that could have caught him out. But, oh wow, we have lots of stuff going on. We have Fouad Al-Rejla and Micah Hendricks chasing. And Al-Rejla going wide. Hendricks following him. But back to Matthew Mayer, if it did rain and he had to take a stop because of damage, and then he had to take a second stop for wet tires, that would absolutely ruin his race. So luckily for him, it looks like the weather is staying away for now. He should be able to make it all the way to the end. Al-Rejla starting to build a gap here to Micah Hendricks. Again, with Mayer pitting, everyone moves up in position, so this is the battle for 4th. Nobody else looking to protect against the undercut for Mayer. I think everyone wants to run the tanks as dry as they can. Maybe pit halfway. It's a good strategy. You get a little bit of cooling on your tires as you do your pit sequence. Even if you don't change them, they tend to cool down. We have Lieutenant Dan still chasing Mark Darnell, but holding him off for now. So drivers may elect to pit about halfway through the race just to get the tires a little bit of a cool down for that second stint. Some drivers will probably run the tank dry. Not a bad strategy either, but yeah, we'll see what happens at the end of the race here. With the weather not coming, it's just your typical endurance race strategies. So Darnell holds off Lieutenant Dan for now. We have two great battles going on at the same time. Micah Hendricks still trying to get around Fuad Al-Rajla. Nothing doing it here. But McLaren's got great drive out of the corner, so he'll set up nicely. I don't think you can make the pass in No Name, but he might poke a nose in, try to scare Al-Rajla offline, or maybe wait for a mistake, perhaps a downhill, running wide, and then take advantage. You can see how unsettled the cars are when they get back on the ground after they crest uphill. Really got to be careful there. And Lieutenant Dan and Mark Darnell side by side through West Bend. That's probably a result of Darnell not taking uphill particularly well, and Lieutenant Dan powers through. Darnell will be looking to maybe make a move. Nope. Lieutenant Dan secures the position. Al-Rajla playing defensive here, just taking the normal racing line, making Hendricks go the long way around that large Mustang. Hendricks going a lot wider through that corner. The Bing Chili Machine just a little bit tighter, a little bit more in control. Hendricks has the draft, but it's not worth too much at a track like this. Drivers are going to have to be aware of and protect the left front tire on this track because, as you can see in the layout, lots of left-hand corners. Lots of high-speed left-hand corners as well. Not quite Roval levels of protection, but throughout the race, if you don't change any tires, that left front is going to... You're going to feel it. You're going to have to protect it a little bit. Unless you change it, but then you have a cold tire on the car. You're going to have to take it easy for a few laps. You know, there's a lot of driver strategy, a difference of opinions on whether you should take a tire or not. As Al-Rajla goes defensive on the inside, Hendricks goes on the outside, but doesn't quite have the horsepower, but he's better on the brakes. Al-Rajla parks it on the apex. There's no room for Hendricks to get around this time. That will back them up. And Mike Dalmeda is probably thinking, yeah, you guys keep battling. Slow each other up, go side by side. Let me catch up. I could join. Up front, Raymond 2 leads Francois Schink. And we have a Mustang 1, 2, 3 at the moment. As 2 goes wide. Now Mayer and Ethan Brown are the only ones who have made their pit stop, but Micah Hendricks makes his now. Might have decided, losing too much time behind Al-Rajla, I'll make my stop. Early undercut, he's going to take tires. We'll see how many tires he takes, but yeah, he's going to have some cold tires coming out back onto the track, but they'll be fresher for the end. So we'll get back to our battle up front. Raymond 2 leads Schink by a second. And we're about halfway. We're 23 minutes into our 50-minute race, so you'll probably see a little bit more activity in the pits in the next couple of laps. As a lot of drivers will just back time it to about halfway. Be interesting to see if anybody chooses the no tire strategy and tries to stay on those warmed up used tires. We have Shink doing well in his debut. P2 at the moment. We'll see what happens after the pit cycles, but definitely showing some strong pace, as we would expect. The driver his talents. Not going to be a championship contender in this season because of the late start, but with 2 drop weeks, he could definitely score quite a few points if he participates the rest of the season. I think he's definitely got the pace to keep up with 2 and Mayer. So we'll see if the driver of the Motor Bunny Racing Mustang can keep up. And that was an interesting sound. I think that was 2 going over the curbs or maybe striking a wall. See if he has any damage. I don't think so. And Shink goes into the pits right at halfway, 25 minutes into this race. So he'll look to fill up with fuel, check to see if he takes tires. And he does, at least one. So I wonder if he's just elected to change one or multiple. We'll see when the pit strategy overlay is updated with everyone stops. Jason Lynn making his way around up to P6 right now, but has not pitted yet in the Big Honkers Mercedes. And Raymond 2 follows Francois Shink 1 lap later and will make his stop. Very curious to see what his strategy is, if he'll take tires or not. And he does. At least one. Darnell's still chasing Lieutenant Dan. After Lieutenant Dan got through, Darnell was able to keep up the last few laps, close the gap a little bit. But I'm sure he'll be looking to chase him down. But right now, Matthew Mayer stays ahead of Raymond 2 and Francois Shink. So out of the people who have pit, Mayer is in front with 2 and Shink behind. So as long as he can make it to the end, which we believe he can, without super head. Wow, that is a lot of air. Again, I think that Porsche front end just tends to grab more air than some of the other cars that I've been seeing. So he'll have to watch out for that. But as long as he doesn't have to save too much fuel, I think he is in a good spot to manage his pace, manage his tires. As the Mustangs behind will have to burn up their tires just to try to catch up. Fuad Al-Rijla leads this race. As he extends his first stint. He's having a good weekend so far. Again, sticking with the Mustang for this season, as his teammate switched to the Porsche. Finds that the Mustang is working well for him in the last couple of races. Some pretty good results. And what he's going to be trying to do here is perhaps run the tank dry, as we have Ethan Brown with a problem. He just pulls off to the side. So he may just try to run the tank dry, make up as much time as possible. Your car's going to be lighter as you burn off that gas, and see if you can do an overcut. But that's not going to help you in that case, going wide there. This cleans off the windshield. The rain is completely gone away. So windshield wiper is only good for cleaning off dirt and debris for this race. Mike D'Almeida makes his stop. Ball Crushing Industries Aston Martin. And he does take tires as well, at least one. As Jason Lin makes his way through. Francois Schink is a little bit closer to Raymond 2 this time around. Gap is only about 0.8 right now. It was about 1.5 seconds when they came out of the pits. So Francois Schink looking to make up some time, catch up. And then Micah Hendricks was behind Fouad Al-Rijla, as Al-Rijla is in the pits now. Micah Hendricks looking to undercut Al-Rijla. We'll see what happens here, if he can get that done. Al-Rijla taking tires as well. Jason Lin also making his pit stop. And right now we're just going to be watching for Micah Hendricks as he makes his way into Big Bend. He's done it. He's got the undercut done and made up a lot of time in the pit sequence over Al-Rijla. So well done to Hendricks. Like I said, he'll be looking to get faster and faster as he turns more laps. 30 minutes into this race. Should be feeling pretty comfortable now. And we have a battle here for provisional P2. Provisional. Not sure if that's the word, but I'm going to go with it anyways. We have a couple people who still haven't taken their pit stops. 2 goes a little bit wide, and Schink is right on the bumper now of the Weenie Hut General Mustang. Just 0.2 behind. Clearly showing a lot more pace right now, although the lap times are similar last time by. They have a lot of experience fighting each other through other series, other races, other leagues. They know each other well. So even though it's Schink's debut, they definitely know what each other are all about. As 2 goes wide, and there's McLaren goes wide too, on the uphill. It's a fantastic place to watch a race. Francois Schink keeps it a little bit tighter, but loses a little bit of time here through downhill. As Lieutenant Dan makes his stop, it does not look like he's taking tires, which means Mark Darnell is leading the race. Can't say that too often, but here we are, 32 minutes in, and Darnell ahead of everyone else. Matthew Mayer with a 3.4 second lead over the Mustangs of Raymond 2 and Francois Schink. So once again, it does not look like he's in heavy fuel saving mode. He is in cruise control mode right now. But we'll stick with this battle for what will be P2 as Darnell makes his way to the pit lane. And we'll ride aboard Francois Schink. So heavy braking into Big Bend. Hit that double apex. Raymond 2 not really hitting that second curb as much. Maybe protecting that tire. He knows if he takes the racing line, it's going to be difficult to get around. So as they crest the hill, the gap just widens a little bit. It was about 0.25 seconds. Now it's about half a second. Into downhill. Schink gets a little bit closer to the apex, but does run wide at the exit. The incident limit for this race was increased in expectation of the rain, so drivers don't have to be as careful as they normally would have been for a regular endurance race. But you still want to be mindful. You don't want to go too far out wide, lose a lot of time, and potentially damage the car. As Micah Hendricks hopes that these two Mustangs will start to fight each other a little bit more so he can catch up to the pack. Seems to be the quickest way around the track is to utilize all of the track and then a little bit extra on the exit of downhill. Francois Schenck, the fastest car the last time around by about a tenth. Even quicker than Mayer on that instance. The gaps come down just a little bit to 3.2 seconds. We have about 15 minutes left. That'll be, what about 17, 18 laps or so? So once again, they go wide. Francois picking up another off track. As they make their way around another lap, it's status quo for now. This is the closest battle we have on track. Everyone else a little bit spread out at the moment. And now Francois Schenck is right on the bumper of Raymond 2. He gets the exit of downhill done correctly, and Raymond 2 has to go defensive this time around. Schenck pulls to the outside. He's side by side into the braking zone. 2 has the inside. And nothing doing this time, but not the greatest exit for 2. And Schenck's going to look to stick with him for the latter portion of this track. So one bad exit out of downhill, and all the work you've done over the last 36 minutes can come undone. But again, if Raymond 2 has to go defensive multiple times, that's going to bring Micah Hendricks into play. So we'll see what he can do. Just 6 tenths behind Francois Schenck at the moment. Yeah, you can see the Mustang power through. Definitely has a top speed advantage around this track, even with a short straight. Hendricks will be looking to make up time in the twisty sections. McLaren theoretically is better positioned to protect the left front tire. However, Hendricks will have no idea what kind of temperature or pressures or anything that tire is doing, unlike the Mustangs ahead of him, because there are no displays for the dash on McLaren for that. So 2 and Schenck can actually monitor in real time the pressure of their tires so they can adjust their driving accordingly to make sure they don't overheat it. However, Micah does not have that advantage, but he is caught up to these Mustangs. And we have a 3-way battle for second place. Track temp is cooling. Looks like we're about 26 degrees as Micah Hendricks dives to the inside. And that was an incredible move. Schenck not particularly happy about it. Caught me off guard. Probably caught him off guard too. But he gets the job done cleanly. As they make their way through downhill, Francois probably kicking himself. He's had that battle with Raymond 2 for so long. Probably didn't expect a move to the inside and no name. You can't get the job done, but it's going to slow you up. And that's going to allow Raymond 2 to get a little bit of an advantage, about 0.6. But I'm sure Hendricks will be looking to close that gap as soon as he can. We're right aboard. You can see the dash. All it really has is RPM, gear, odometer. There's a driver's car, but you don't have all of the setup options that the other cars do. But with that mid-engine layout, you get really great traction out of the corners. So he looks to chase down two flashing the brake lights at him. Hendricks with a big slide, trying to get back to the apex, but able to power through. So as they run, we have Matthew Mayer up front, Raymond 2 in second, 3.7 seconds behind. Micah Hendricks in third, and Francois Schenk in fourth in their first races of season 3. There's another off track for Francois. And Wada Rizla is in fifth, but he is 17 seconds behind. Just shows you the lap after lap pace. Every single lap that these drivers have, they're extracting as much pace out of their cars as possible. Just an absolute clinic of skill. As Hendricks gets on that curb, it really unsettles the car. But he's able to gather it in. And he's closed that gap to Raymond 2. And he's looking for more. We got light pink versus dark pink as the BWT McLaren looks to pass the Weenie Hut Racing Mustang. Lap 47, 41 minutes into this race. This is everything that we could ask for as a fan of racing, to see these drivers compete this closely. And we'll see if Hendricks maybe can surprise Raymond 2 with a move into no name. Not this time around. If 2 is paying attention in his mirrors, he might see what Hendricks did to get by Francois, and he might have a defense for it. We'll see. McLaren getting a little bit closer, just 0.2 back now. And he'll be looking to make up time here as he gets all the way up. Let's see if we can ride on board with Raymond 2. There's a great camera angle. And Micah Hendricks slides. He gets it all wrong. And just could not catch that one, unfortunately. Maybe picked up a little bit of damage. It's the uphill, that change in balance of the car. Did not have it perfectly straight, started to slide, and just took him out of the running. Francois Schenk escapes. Don't think he picked up any damage there. He definitely had to avoid the incident, so it slowed him up a bit, which allowed Raymond 2 to get away. So disaster averted for Francois Schenk. For Micah Hendricks, able to keep it together. Does not look like there's too much damage. That rear end's a little bit banged up, but he still has the rear wing. He'll be feeling out the car to see if he can continue or if he's going to need a pit. But so far, looks okay for now. And he elects to, let's see if he pits this time by. He does not continue, so the damage must not be that bad. Not terminal. It's going to be tough for him to catch up. There's only about 5.5 minutes left in this race. So, unfortunate for Hendricks. Had a good running going into the podium position, but just one small mistake and around she goes. So that promotes Schink into third in his debut. He is catching Raymond too. Last time by, it was about a 10th quicker. But with 5 minutes left in this race, he should get about 6 laps or so, maybe 7, to try to close that gap. It's less than a second now. There's no other particularly close battles on track. Everyone seems to have found their pace and settled in nicely. We did have a couple of retirements. Chris McDonald, Ethan Brown, both out of the race at the moment. Micah Hendricks still up 5 positions. He's our biggest mover of the day. So even with that spin, still a great result for him. But right now, all eyes are on Francois Schink as he looks to chase down Raymond 2. 2 has done just enough to stay ahead of everyone who's come to challenge him, except for Mayer, of course. He's only gone defensive when it really mattered. So no one's really been able to get around him once they catch him. And I'm sure he'll be looking to do the same strategy for the next 4.5 minutes. As they make their way through West Bend. The gap's down to 0.6. Schink getting a little bit closer to the apex there. And he's making up time. I think he's going to catch him by the time this race is over, but catching is one thing, passing is another. He might run out of laps. We'll see. Right now the gap's down to 0.4. Wonder if 2 is just nursing that front left tire a bit. Shouldn't be fuel saving. That shouldn't be necessary. But that tire might be hurting. All it takes is a few laps of overdriving the car and you can overheat that tire. And Francois Schink is a man on a mission right now. But he does go wide into the grass. That's going to slow him down. He was 0.3, now it's back up to 6. And unfortunately for him, that might be it for his challenge of P2. Unless something crazy happens. But with 2 minutes left in this race, we only have a handful of laps left. Clouds are rolling in. It looks like there's rain coming, but not soon enough to affect this race. It looks like it's going to start raining about 15 minutes after the race ends. So unfortunate we didn't get to see how these drivers perform in the wet. But you know, it's a 67% chance. It's not a 100% chance. And it looks like we're just unlucky this time around. Because Raymond 2 is really not showing the pace that he once did, and Francois Schink surprisingly made up a lot of time. Just 2/10 back now, flashing the lights, letting him know, hey, I'm right here. Your tire must be hurting. He looks to the inside, but tucks back in. That's not the place to do it. He's going to look to set up a good move. Oh, wow, goes side by side into downhill, and 2 leaves him space. They don't touch, but 2 gets the outside. He gets a better run. And one more lap. White flag is out. Side by side into turn 1. 2 has the inside. Again, he's just positioned perfectly. But Francois Schink sneaks in there. He gets his nose ahead. And now he has the inside. We'll see what happens in No Name. But Schink is side by side with Raymond 2. Raymond 2 has the inside. And pulls ahead. Pulls in line. Doesn't cut all the way across, so Schink is going to be able to catch up a bit. But he's lost a little bit of ground. He's down to 6/10 back. That's going to be tough. He gave it everything he could. He tried to just position the car just with an excellent defense. Is unfortunately, Francois Schink unable to complete the maneuver. But just an excellent defense for Raymond 2, who celebrates with a rocket flight. And we have some post-race activities happening. Matthew Mayer wins with a 8-second gap. So congratulations to him. Just a superb drive all around. The early pit stop did not factor into this race at all. He was able to make it all the way back to the end, and without the weather, he just had a nice time. So congratulations to Matthew Mayer. The Raymond 2 Francois Schink battle was fantastic to watch. That will round out your podium. Micah Hendricks finishes 4th. Waddell Rijla 5th. Mike D'Almeida 6th. Lieutenant Dan 7th. Mark Darnell 8th. Jason Lynn 9th, and Ethan Brown and Chris McDonald finished 10th and 11th as a DNF. We'll go ahead and check out our points. We are only going to be looking at the updated points after this race with the drop weeks factored in. So I know points were a lot higher last week, but this week we had the drop weeks. So Matthew Mayer actually moves up due to the drop weeks ahead of Raymond 2 with 116 points to Raymond 2's 112. Connor Ecatella maintains 83 points for 3rd place. Waddell Rijla down 1 to 4th place with 77 points. Damon Mitchell 5th. Chris McDonald 6th for the Groomed Cock Racing Boys. Matt Best is in 7th with his 1 race, but has that win, so he has 60 points. Mike D'Almeida is 8th ahead of Mark Darnell in 9th. And Francois Schink in his 1 race picks up 46 points, so he is already slotted into 10th place. Jason Lynn in the Big Honkers Mercedes is in 11th ahead of Logan McKenzie. Lieutenant Dan picks up some good points today in 13th. Micah Hendricks just behind in 14th with 40 points. Slugnificent Kurt Smith, Matthew Berger, and Austin Dunbar round out your top 18. Looking at the team championship, Bing Chilling is pulling away with a massive lead in the team championship. Beaverdy Winnie Hut Racing is in 2nd with 238 points ahead of Ball Crushing Industries, who moves up 1 spot with 192 points. Groomed Cock Racing falls to 4th place with 173, and Horty Toad Racing moves up to 5th with 83 points for number 83. Big Honkers moves up to 6th place ahead of Roadkill Racing, and Beaver Busters maintains 8th. And our new team, Motor Bunny Racing, in its debut, scores 46 points. I'd like to take this time to say thank you for joining us for Race 4 at Lime Rock Park. Next week, the Late Apex Racing Club heads to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin for a sprint race weekend at Road America. We hope to see you there.